Have you ever felt like your organization is working hard but not moving forward? The meetings continue, the programs continue, the emails continue, the effort continues, but the momentum is gone. If you've ever led a church, nonprofit, ministry, or community organization, you've probably experienced this feeling. You're not failing, you're not necessarily doing anything wrong, but somehow the energy, excitement, and progress that once existed seem to have disappeared. My name is Guy Williams, founder of Community Lifters, and today I want to talk about how healthy organizations rebuild momentum when they feel stuck. The first thing we need to understand is that momentum is not the same thing as growth. Momentum is the feeling that progress is happening. It's when volunteers are engaged, donors are encouraged, staff members are energized, and people believe their efforts are making a difference. Research in organizational psychology has found that one of the greatest motivators in human behavior is seeing meaningful progress. In other words, people become energized when they can see that their work matters. And that's why organizations often lose momentum when progress becomes difficult to see. So, why do organizations get stuck? The first reason is mission confusion. When priorities become unclear, people lose focus. Energy gets scattered, resources get spread too thin, and before long, everyone is busy, but no one is certain what matters most. The second reason is a lack of visible wins. Many nonprofits spend all their time talking about problems, more needs, more challenges, more obstacles. But people need to see victories too. They need reminders that lives are being changed, that families are being helped, that prayers are being answered. What gets celebrated gets repeated. The third reason is burnout. When leaders, staff, and volunteers become emotionally exhausted, creativity declines, initiative disappears, people stop bringing their best ideas, and momentum begins to slow. Finally, organizations lose momentum when people lose connection to the mission. People can work incredibly hard when they believe their effort matters, but when purpose becomes unclear, motivation begins to fade. Before we go any further, let me ask you a question. What if the biggest problem facing your organization isn't money? What if it's not staffing? What if it's not donor retention? What if the real issue is that your people have stopped believing meaningful progress is possible? I've worked with organizations that had fewer resources than their competitors, yet achieved remarkable results. I've also worked with organizations that had talented people, healthy budgets, and strong community support, but remained stuck for years. The difference wasn't resources, the difference was momentum. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you the four warning signs that momentum is disappearing and how great leaders rebuild it before it's too late. So, how do you rebuild momentum? First, reestablish mission clarity. Ask yourself, what are we really trying to accomplish? Not 10 priorities, not 20 objectives, one clear mission. People move faster when they know where they're going. Second, create quick wins. One of the biggest mistakes leaders make is trying to solve everything at once. Instead, identify one meaningful improvement that can happen in the next 30 days. Small wins create confidence, and confidence creates momentum. Third, communicate progress relentlessly. Tell stories, celebrate victories, share testimonies, highlight impact. People need evidence that their work is making a difference. And fourth, remove unnecessary friction. Ask your team, what is slowing us down? You may be surprised by the answers. Sometimes momentum returns, not because we add something new, but because we remove something that's getting in the way. One of my favorite examples of rebuilding momentum comes from the book of Nehemiah. When Nehemiah arrived in Jerusalem, the city was discouraged and the walls were in ruins. The task looked impossible. Yet Nehemiah restored momentum by giving people a clear vision, organizing the work, and helping them see progress. What seemed impossible became achievable because the people regained hope. And that's what momentum really is, hope in motion. So let me leave you with one final question. Does your organization have a resource problem, or does it have a momentum problem? Many organizations already possess the people, opportunities, and resources they need. What they're missing is the confidence that comes from seeing progress. Momentum isn't magic, it's built one step at a time, one victory at a time, one act of faithful leadership at a time. If this video was helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with another nonprofit or ministry leader. Until next time, stay focused on the mission.